Hey guys, I'm Austin Haynes, and welcome back to a special edition of Special Reports. Now, the reason I'm doing this special edition is to tell you about why I choose Louis Armstrong for my history project. So the first reason is he does 1920s swing jazz, which is really the best jazz. Just at least to me, big fan of swing jazz. Now, the second reason is I think his voice is really cool, and I'm sure I've already shown you the video, or maybe just some music that he did, just a snippet of it earlier on. But you know what I'm saying, it's a pretty cool thing. And so I think the coolest thing I learned about him was that he was in a few movies. I had no idea up until this point. I truly had no idea. So that was really interesting. And so I thought would be fun would to be asking a friend, or maybe two, depending on if anyone actually submits any videos, on what they thought their favorite project was, or why they chose their project, to see if they had any cool responses, even though they're not in our classes. So let's see it.
So I presented a project on the singer Sam Cooke. I've always been a huge fan of his music. He has some really good hits. But my favorite project would definitely be the one presented by Christian Perry. And that was a PowerPoint on the artist Buford Delaney. That was very interesting.
For my Black History Month project, I decided to do the life of Benjamin O. Davis Jr. He was a military general, the first African American to reach the rank of 4-star general. And the reason I picked him was, actually before I didn't know much about him, but I knew I wanted to do someone that was in the military, but I just didn't know who. And then I looked him up, I picked him, and it was fascinating to look into. The amount of accomplishments that he had for himself, personal honors and awards, all the stuff they did for America at the time, like serving our country, and helping the black community within the military, helping to desegregate it, which is fascinating to look into and very intriguing, and I'm so glad I looked into it. So glad I picked him because of it was a very fulfilling project.
For my project, I chose the Buffalo Soldiers. The reason I chose the Buffalo Soldiers was because of the fact that I previously learned that they had a massive impact on building up the national parks and becoming the first ever park rangers. Once I completed this project, I learned a lot more about them, how they actually fought wildfires, how they guarded the mail in the Midwest, and the challenges that they had to endure and overcome.
Wow, those were really awesome responses. I just want to say thanks again, even though they will never see this, to the 3 guys who agreed to help me out with this. I personally thought their thoughts were really interesting, and even though most of them haven't actually seen a project yet, I still really appreciated to hear why they did what they did, and their other thoughts on the whole project in general. So thanks for watching, and I'm signing off. Back to you, Coach Rivera.